Welcome to the Thoughtful Leader podcast. My name is Ben Brearley. I'm a leadership coach and the founder of Thoughtful Leader. The Thoughtful Leader podcast is all about short, sharp leadership advice because thoughtful leadership is good leadership. Welcome to episode 334 of the Thoughtful Leader podcast. In this episode, I'm going to discuss the common slogan of "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions" in leadership. And yeah, what's the deal with this one? Is it good? Is it bad? Let's take a look at it right now. Now, sometimes when I'm delivering training or workshops and talking to leaders, they will spout something that frustrates me a little bit. They like to spout the common leadership slogan, "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions." And usually it's based on an example of a previous boss they had before where, oh yeah, this boss used to say to me, "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions." But it's so common, this phrase. And sometimes people hang their hat on it as a really nice approach to leading because it makes people think more before they come to you. And therefore the idea is they have to think for themselves and come up with ideas before they, interrupt you or waste your time with them. And it's a really interesting one because on the surface it sounds pretty good because it encourages people to be more proactive. It makes people have to think and come up with some options before they come to you. But overall, I think it's actually really bad. And I don't think it's a good thing to be doing. It's definitely not something that you should use as an overall leadership approach or, a style of leadership. And here's why. Well, there's a couple of things here. Well, actually, let's look at why do people do this? Why do leaders do this? Well, I think the reason people do this to start with is because it gives them some sort of process or certainty over the situation. So a lot of people like to have a clear guideline or a principle they can follow to address challenges in their team or to lead people. So when you have a slogan like that, it can be cool. It can simplify things, right? You can just say to people, "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions." But the reality is that it's not a one-size-fits-all concept. And there's a couple of reasons for this. The first reason this could be problematic in a team is that your people might not actually know the solution. So they won't come to you because they know you're expecting a solution. And what can happen now is that instead of hearing about the problems that may be impacting your team, you might never be aware of them. You might not actually hear about them. They might actually just keep them to themselves because they don't want to be criticized for not having a solution before they come to you. So that's one potential issue with this. You might actually be putting a barrier between yourself and your team, which in the short term may feel good because people aren't interrupting you as much. But in the long term, you're going to potentially have a problem with this because you might not hear about things you need to hear about. The second thing that this little slogan does is you're basically what you're doing when you're using this sort of slogan is you're absolving yourself of responsibility. So the idea would be, I tell people, "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions." So what I'm doing there is just waiting for the solution to come to me. And then I'll decide whether their solution is good enough or not. And so what I'm taking away from myself is the responsibility of developing the solution alongside my team and with my team, which really is about a coaching approach. So when you want people to come with a solution, you're actually taking away the potential benefit of working with them to develop a solution so that they learn from you in the process and actually, gain confidence in their thinking and they can check their thinking. So taking a coaching approach, which I've dealt with before, and I'll leave a link to the episode in the show notes page on taking a coaching approach and what that means, is all about asking questions and getting people to think for themselves. So if you just want people to come to you with solutions without discussing it with you first and just having the solution for you, you might find that yeah, well, people might not come to you at all, but you're actually missing an opportunity. You're missing an opportunity to coach your team to come up with a better solution with them, which can build trust. It can build your relationship because you're helping people develop and learn. And so you're missing an opportunity. And one of the last reasons that I think this slogan is bad is because if someone brings you a solution and then you just criticize it, oh no, that's a terrible solution, you're really just discouraging them and reinforcing the behavior that it's a bad idea, or reinforcing the concept that it's a bad idea to come to you with a solution as well, because your solution might not be good enough. Because it's always useful to consider that actually the reason people might not come to you with a solution and might come with a problem, it could be because they're not thinking, but it could also be because they don't have the skills or the knowledge or the experience to solve it for themselves. So this is why you need to help them develop the solution rather than, absolving yourself of that responsibility in the effort to save time, for example. Another thing to consider is that any solutions that your team develops may not actually consider your context. For example, they might not know the budget constraints you have or some conversations that are going on at the leadership or senior leadership level, and therefore they might come up with ideas that actually seem good, but they're not going to be good because they don't fit into the overall big picture, which is why working with your team to develop the solutions is often a better way to go, rather than just to say that you don't want them to come to you with a problem at all and just come with the solution straight away. Because they're not considering the wider context. They are more stuck in the delivery side of things, trying to, solve problems. You're dealing with the strategy and the bigger picture thinking, and therefore you're going to have greater visibility of that space. So, a couple of good reasons not to just go along with this leadership cliche about don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. I think it's an easy way out for leaders to try to simplify the process of leadership so that they can save time. But in the long run, it won't save you time, because working with your people to develop the solutions is actually a way better way to improve capability and confidence in your team than just telling them to come with a solution. All right. What do you think about this particular slogan? Give me your thoughts. You can leave a comment on the show notes page. It'll be thoughtfulleader.com/podcast/334. Yeah, give me your thoughts on this slogan. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you use it? Why do you agree or disagree with me on this one? You can put a comment on that show notes page or leave a comment on Spotify as well. I always read those, so they're good to receive also. And just a reminder as well, I mentioned last time, I think, I do some writing on my own personal website, benbrearley.com, which I'll leave a link on the show notes page to that as well. And I write longer form essays on various topics, usually regarding human behavior, thinking about why people do the things that they do, sometimes related to technology and artificial intelligence as well. So if you're interested in reading some of my writing on that stuff, then feel free to go to benbrearley.com and check out some of my essays and leave some comments over there. You can sign up as well to receive them every time they come out as well. So yeah, be good to have you over there. Check them out as well. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Once again, keep up the thoughtful leadership, and I'll be back next week.